word for today is vulnerability. Let's get into it. When you hear the word vulnerability, usually the first thoughts that come to mind is weakness. And I can understand that because vulnerability is, in a word, about being exposed. It is when one is exposed to something that can potentially harm them both emotionally or physically. The definition alone shows you why a lot of people don't want to be vulnerable. It's uncomfortable being exposed. And yet, if we want to have a more intimate and more meaningful relationship with God, part of what that entails is being vulnerable. You're not going to hear that a lot in church, but yet it's the truth. And it is actually something that is healthy, believe it or not. And we have a tendency of looking at vulnerability as a weakness, but it's not. Actually, it's a strength for those who embrace it. See, truth is, in reality, we are all vulnerable. We think that we are powerful and will live forever because of our technology, our intellect, all of the things that we have already created. And kind of create this bubble, this illusion, as if we protect and are protected and we are secure in ourselves. But the truth is, a strong wind can come and change the whole dynamic of our entire civilization. How just natural events can shut us down completely. It should cause us to think about how vulnerable we actually are. And whenever we realize our vulnerability, it's not an acquiescence or a capitulation to any kind of weakness, but it's a beginning to realize what our true strength is. When we embrace our vulnerability, we are embracing reality, a truth, and it opens us more so to be available to experience God. See, vulnerability is a strength because it is the key as to how we can connect and commune with God. God wants to deal with our truth, and ultimately, vulnerability is truth. We have a lot of walls and a lot of barriers and a lot of barricades to try to prevent the world to have access to that truth for different reasons, and I understand that. But whenever those walls and those barriers are removed and all we have is exposed is our truth, that's when we feel vulnerable. And for many people, that's when we feel weak. But whenever you have embraced vulnerability as a strength, then you don't need the walls. You don't need the barricades. You just live your truth. And that's scary, not only for people to do, but it's also scary for people who witness others living their truth. Because when you are committed to living your truth, it exposes all of those who want to hide, all of those who are not willing yet to get to their truth, all of those who still have those barriers and those walls around their most sacred truths and see vulnerability as a weakness. So when you walk in your truth, not only are you embracing vulnerability as a strength, not only are you allowing for a deeper and much more intimate communion with God, but you are also exposing other people who are still living in their lies. So, be vulnerable.